Welcome, listeners to Sisters Let's Talk podcast. Your place where we talk about the things that matter to you, to us, and to the people that we care about. We are honored today to have a special sister friend in our midst to kick off this mental health awareness month. Memuna is a social worker consultant that is here with us. Welcome, Memuna. Welcome to Sisters Let's Talk podcast.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Um, Memuna, I know we do have your official bio, but could you tell us what if we meet Memuna on the elevator? Who is Memuna?
Hey, that's another episode too.
Oh, wow. That's a whole different episode. But okay. Memuna is a woman that wears many hats. I have an intense passion to make an impact in people's lives. I support people's emotional, attitudinal, and developmental needs in whatever way however they found themselves in life at whatever point.
She's the emotional mama of Canada and Sierra and beyond.
For me, it doesn't feel like it's a chore or like a task. It comes naturally. I actually enjoy it. The smiles I see on people's faces at the end of any informal or formal session, when they say thank you, when they say, I didn't think about it that way. That makes me happy. Yeah. People think I'm crazy to be able to listen to everyone's problems. Sometimes I'm on the phone for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just supporting people through whatever they're going through, right? Because sometimes people are like in a dark room, a dark space, and they don't know how to get out of that. But I feel like God, I always give it back to God.
Yeah.
He has blessed me to be able to support people with their emotional conflicts that they're going through. So I look at it like this: where you're in a dark room, you don't know how to open up the curtain or the blind to get some light inside, and I come in and I'm able to support you with that, and that gives me joy, to be honest. I don't know how I do it sometimes. It doesn't feel like it's heavy. That's the beauty of it, right?
That's
a gift. You must be tired. Yeah, you must be tired. I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, you must be. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm actually fine. Other things tire me out, not supporting people. So like you said, it's a gift. So that's who I am. I wear many hats, but really most importantly,
that is a gift. But it is not easy for people in our community to go and seek this kind of help. So even talk to people that like you that can help them, right? Have you noticed that, or is it just something
it's a big problem? Because I feel like confidentiality is a big problem. People don't have safe spaces to talk to. You don't have trusted people to talk to. We're such a small community. We all know each other. I talk to Fumi might talk to Lucia might talk to her husband. I don't know who knows who, right? Because we're all linked up in a way. So people rather keep it all inside, try to figure out on their own, and in the process they crash. They actually crash. So that's what I think the big problem is: confidentiality.
So how, aside from, you reassure them so that they have confidence in you, what else do you do to encourage people to be able to open up and seek help as they come to you?
I think it comes with building trust. Because if they don't trust me, they wouldn't come to me, right? So the way I interact with people, the way I carry myself.
I feel like that is a very important character, a personality that you have, that a lot of people don't see in others that they can go to. Do you encourage people to talk to other people, or like how do you pass because it down? Everybody can talk to you, everybody can have you there at the same time, right? What if they're going through a crisis at that time? Is there how do you help them in being able to seek the help that they need if you're not there? what are some of the things that you probably will do?
So I tell them always, look around your surrounding. Who do you have around you? Identify somebody who you feel like you can talk to, somebody who would be willing to listen. So some people are there, but they don't really care what you're going through.
Yeah.
But somebody who would listen and who would offer, I wouldn't say advice, but suggestions to support you with whatever you're going through. Who can refer you? So sometimes people, I may not have all the answers, but I can refer you. I know this person, they can help you with this. I know that person. How about talking to that person? You know what I mean? So it may not be, there's no one-stop shop for everyone, but just identify somebody around you who would listen, who would keep your business to themselves and not share it to the public. Somebody who you trust, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we all have that one person around us.
But why are we so concerned about people sharing our stuff?
That was my question. Yeah.
Because there's a name and shame factor to it, right?
Okay.
Because if I don't want Fumi to know my business, for example, because I think it's just because I am not sure who Fumi is going to talk to, how are people going to, I think it's just a stigma around it. Because stigma comes with a lot of issues, right? Am I going to be stigmatized? Am I going to be labeled wrongly? Am I going to be seen as a sinner? Am I going to be seen as like, or any negative vibe that comes with that? We're just worried about what people think. What are they going to say? Yeah.
Why is there stigma though? Why? But so why is there stigma? Why don't Africans or Black people or non-Caucasian go to say, that's the first thing that will come to their mind to say, I need help?
So I have been in Sierra Leone working in this field for a while. And one thing I have come to realize is that talking to a stranger is not part of our culture, for example, right? You don't just walk into somebody's office, for example, and tell them all your issues. We're used to talking to, in the olden days, talk to elders, talk to somebody in your community about whatever you're going through. But that formal Western standard of talking to a counselor or therapist, it's not us. We're not used to that. We don't know that, right? We're only learning that now. We usually talk to an auntie or talk to a pastor and an imam, a person of God, you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is not us. So we're just trying now to learn, to unlearn what we already knew and learn new things in the process. So we're still trying to adjust and adapt to talking to a quote unquote stranger about our issues. Plus, talking to somebody that you already know in your community, you need to trust that person. You need to feel safe. You need to make sure that that person doesn't go out and let your business out, for example. So,
but what are some of the benefits? What are some of the benefits that people get from actually letting out the things that are hurting them? What are some of the things that you have seen that benefit those people that actually get to that point of saying the things that hurt them? Like talking to somebody like you.
So you know how they say a problem shared is a problem half solved. And I know you had when you had an event, something I think 3 weeks ago, when you had a lady, I forgot her name, that
Dr. Davis.
Yes, Dr. Davis. She spoke something about having like 25% to this person, 25% to that person. I was online. I listened to that. I was like, that is so true. Yeah. So I feel like talking to somebody, it's just. Sometimes when you talk, you hear yourself talk. You hear yourself express things. And you're like, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't realize that. So just talking. Sometimes people talk to me and I don't solve their problems, to be honest. Yeah. Just being there, listening, having them talk. They hear themselves talk. They think through as they talk. Yeah. And you're like, I didn't think of it that way. So just having somebody that you talk to, I feel like you unburden yourself with the issues. Yeah. And it helps you to think and reflect as you do that. If the person can help you professionally, professionals are supposed to support you, right? They don't help to support you. So that's great. But sometimes you just talking, just that burden is taken away from you. Taking the heavy stuff and dumping it on, giving it to somebody else. Yeah. That's the I see it.
Yeah.
Isn't it also, I was thinking about it the other day, is that even some of our languages, if you want to go into the medical diagnosis, some of our languages don't even, there's no word for certain things. There's no word for depression. There's
Listen,
no word
I
for
struggled
anxiety.
with
How do you
this.
define that?
I struggled with this. So when I started Mending Broken Hearts in Sierra Leone, I was working with Lucia's brother on like on
Mm.
flyers and stuff. I'm like, Felix, what word do we use for depression? He was like, I don't know. So I sat there, I
That was
thought.
not the right person to ask that
He was like,
question.
I don't know. So I sat there, I'm like, okay. And then I asked a few people around. What I got back like was poilats. So I don't know how to loosely translate that into English, but
Broken
like
heart.
a
Hey.
broken heart, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they use poilats for depression, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety, I don't know. We don't have words for some of these things. Some of
So
these
that's the
we
thing.
don't
If
have it.
you are unable to identify
Mhm.
what exactly you're feeling or going
Mm-hmm.
through in the first place, it's even harder, even if you want to seek help, to
Mhm.
actually go and seek. How do you describe yourself? How do you explain yourself to people? I think that was that's one of the barriers as well, is because we don't, we don't have this in mental health piece in some of in the languages in the culture. It's kind of hard for some people.
Well,
So
this,
you and specifically the fact that you are in Sierra Leone, I know you can't speak on behalf of the entire Africa, because the entire Africa, every culture is different as well, even though we have a lot of similarities. There are 54 countries. Africa is not one. Thank you very much. But at the same time, as an African in Africa, in Sierra Leone, like how do you, even when they come to you, how do you define these things for them to be able to understand this is what you are going through and this is what it's called?
So first of all, it comes back down to culture and language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Creole is widely spoken in Sierra Leone. I speak it, I understand it, and that's the language that most people communicate with. So you come to me, I'll ask you, what's up? What's going on? You may not have words for it, but by me listening to you, I don't know how to say box it up, but I can sort and arrange what you're going through and attach. I don't like labels, but I can attach a label or name to whatever you're going through from listening to whatever you present to me. So if I didn't understand Creole, for example, I would be a block. If a non-Sierra Leonean went in, it might be hard for them.
Yeah.
That's why with what I do, I make sure it's culturally specific and it's African centered. I try as much as possible to move away from the Western standards of doing things in Sierra Leone, because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It might work 10% of the way, but not a whole lot. So the language helps me to be able to help them, because I understand what they're saying. Then I can compartmentalize it and say, okay, this is what you're going through. I heard this, I heard that. Is this what you're going through? Clarify with them. And then they're like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So because of the Western knowledge that I have and Western education that I have, I'm able to use that and fit it into what works within our local context.
Okay.
Like make the best out of that and make it work. Like
Go on. Sorry.
The first time I went into the female correctional facility in Sierra Leone to work, I went in with my pencil skirt, folder, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna work, social work, 4 theories, this theory, that theory. I went in like, yes, I can do this. The lady at the head, the supervisor, there was like, I don't think you can help this client, that client, because they're da 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 da. I'm like, we'll see how it goes. I went in. I was like, Memuna, take all your theories and keep them aside. Sit down on the edge of the gutter with these people and sit and get down to their level. I sat down, I listened to them. I was like, wow, my theories are not going to help me in this situation. It did not help. So I had to do what worked. I just had to listen to them.
Yeah.
hear them pour out their hearts, and then use bits and pieces of what Western knowledge has taught me to support them. But Western theories, I'm sorry, they're good for what it's good for, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, you have to
It
like
doesn't.
work and adapt to the local context.
So,
My
what would be your final thoughts for that woman that just needs that extra support, that has coped in life? They have found a way to cope, but it is not working. They just need that person that can sit with them and and talk through to them. What will you say to her to encourage her to reach out, not just stay in that situation?
And so that they can help to get rid of that baggage and not continue carrying it with them, because that's the point.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say to that woman is, first of all, you need to realize what you have control over and what you don't have control over. Sometimes we try to do too much, and that just burdens us even more.
Yeah.
You need to maintain boundaries around you. Before you even get to somebody who you can talk to, that you trust, know what you can control, know what you cannot control. Set boundaries. Learn to say no. It's okay to say no if you cannot do certain things. It's okay to know if you cannot have certain conversations with certain people based on whatever. Have your boundaries, know what you can control, know what you cannot control, and reach out to a trusted person.
Connect with Mending Broken Hearts at mendingbrokenhearts@gmail.com. Yes, it is a paid subscription. You can be able to pay for somebody that needs this service. Mending Broken Hearts is an African-inspired, community-style one-stop shop that offers healing, coaching, and enrichment service. MBH for short is offering a structured way to support people with their emotional and mental health through cultural sensitive talk therapy, gatherings, and individual counseling programs. So, if you know somebody that needs help, that just needs somebody to talk to and somebody to just break it down for them in a way that they could understand it, you need to call. You need to direct them. Check out Sisters Let's Talk for all the information you need about Mending Broken Hearts, and connect with our sister Memuna today for what can be what leads you to the next step in life of what you so desperately have been looking for. Talk to someone today. That is part of mental wellness.